In 1968, the Fair Housing Act was passed to fight the practice of redlining. Now, many predominantly black communities see growth stagnant as appraisers fail to value their homes at their worth. The picture of that injustice is in Prince George County in Maryland. Now, I'd like to welcome to BNC Live Jacqulyn Priestly. She is a homeowner in that county. Welcome to BNC Live, Jacqulyn.
Hi, Tashani. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So I know that you are very knowledgeable because you are a homeowner in that area. So, Jacqulyn, as a homeowner, I understand that you and your family built a new home. You're also in the process of selling your previous house as well. So you're experiencing appraisal issues from both sides. Can you just tell us more about that?
Absolutely. You know, we're excited right now that nationally the value of homes is up, right, as we sell. But we also know the harsh realities that are hitting Black communities right here in Prince George's County and across the country. And that I have to ask myself, you know, what would our home sell for just say 5 or 10 miles from here where I'd be in, say, you know, a neighboring county or right even in the District of Columbia. So it's a reality for the millions of us who live in Prince George's County. And, you know, it's one that we're working actually to address.
So can you just tell us?
And I should also add, Shani, that it also impacts us on the side of as a new home buyer. We just built our current home, and we actually got our appraisals in today. So we are waiting to hear what our home appraises for. But the fact that we have to question whether it will appraise for what it costs to build is a harsh reality that most people in other places in areas that are not predominantly Black don't have to deal with.
So, Jacqulyn, what have you personally experienced?
Well, as I'm in terms of my personal experiences, it's one that, you know, we're working to get our home refinanced, and we are worried that the home will not appraise for what it costs to build. And that concern comes from the recent history that we've seen of others around here. And so, and in, you know, discussions we're having with the bank for refinancing. So that's my real world right now experience as we speak.
So what does this mean? Because we mentioned it's happening across the country, and now you're telling us it's happening exactly in the county where you live, which is predominantly Black. What are you and your neighbors discussing? How do you remedy this situation?
Well, it means that unfortunately we're all hit hard equally as an entire county. Because where I live, there are other homes being built here, and those soon-to-be homeowners are struggling to get financing for their home without having to come out of pocket by more than 10, 20%, separate from, you know, the down payments of home. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, so say if your home is worth, and you know, the Maryland, Greater Washington area is very expensive, obviously. So let's just say a house may cost $600,000 or $800,000, pick your number, and to build. The issue is, will I even get financing for $500,000 or $700,000 for that home? So what that means is those homes are the cost to build. You're underwater before you even, you know, say your first night in your new home. As history has shown us, but we're working really hard, and we are making progress towards righting that wrong here.
So what are you and your neighbors doing to try to work around this issue? Because I mean, as you are already experiencing, you're selling one home, you're already in your new home. It sounds like a tough spot to be in. Oh, it looks like we lost the connection with Jacqulyn. As soon as we get her back, we will most certainly finish that conversation. All right, I think we got Jacqulyn back because this is such an important topic. We definitely want to continue it. Jacqulyn, are you there?
I am here.
Okay, perfect. So I was asking you, I said, I know you're in a tough spot. You're selling your old home. You're already in your new home. How are you and your neighbors basically trying to tackle this issue?
Well, we're doing a lot of things, one of which obviously is talking with you right now, Shani, which means a lot for this issue. We are working together to say we are going to remove the subjectivity out of home appraisals and say we are going to bring you the facts about the quality of homes. We're going to challenge you and question you as to why you can build this exact same home in a neighboring county and it can be worth twice as much. It's actually happened. We're seeing this happen, right? So we're challenging every step of this process to ensure that folks in our community in this county get their money's worth.
So Jacqulyn, I want to ask you this because your area, from what I know about Prince George, it's a beautiful area to live in. You're right outside of DC. So do you think if you were white, even though your neighbors are black, do you think you would still receive a lowballed appraisal?
It's hard to say because not everyone, but 60+% of the demographics of the population in the county is black. So presumably most appraisers, most banks assume that the homeowner is black. And so we view that as, where we hear situations of households dealing with this as compared to, say, their white neighbor. We deal with this as compared to, say, the next county over.
Does that make you regret moving to where you live, knowing this now?
Absolutely not. I have lived in neighboring counties. I've lived in the district. I've been here the longest for more than a decade. I've been in the area over 20 years now. This is home, and we chose when we sold our previous home was in Prince George's County, and our home now is as well. We're just, say, 5 miles from our old home. And we chose to live here because we said, while we could perhaps make our home worth more faster somewhere else, you can't put a price on community. And that's something that's really special that we have here in the county. Anyone here will tell you this. I have friends who moved away and said, I wish I had, or they've moved back to the county. Because it's one of those places where it takes you back to, years ago where your kids are playing in the street with the kids next door, and the idea of a village raising your children, right? That everyone's there and watching and helping each other out, that the kids that my children went to daycare with are the same children that they then went to elementary school with, and we go to church with, and we're talking, for example, my church seats 4,000 people per service, right? So when I say that, and they go to my church, it's just an extension of that real community feel that we have here that is rare in areas that are especially transient, like the Greater Washington area, because, of the nature of the work and the cost of living here. So, like many families in the county, we chose Prince George's County, and our county exec likes to say Prince George is proud, and the Priestleys are definitely Prince George is proud.
Jacqulyn, I think we still have some time to keep this conversation going because I'm really enjoying it. The American dream for so many of us is home ownership. Do you feel like you were set up to fail? And if so, how does that make you feel?
No, because I don't believe that my destiny and my, the life that I want to live is in anyone's hands but the Lord's, and the planning that my family, that we do. We feel like when you live here and you experience this as a Black family, you are living the dream, right? This is because I can look, our children actually have Black physicians. They have Black teachers who love my little boys, right? They see themselves everywhere they go. They're embraced and they're celebrated, and that means more to me than anything. So from our standpoint and that of so many others here, we are living the community dream. And what's nice about that too is that we're also inclusive. The community is becoming more diverse again, and we love that and we celebrate that. So our children have friends from various races, as do we, and different religious backgrounds and everything. We're diverse in every single way, but we celebrate the idea of community.
This was so enlightening. I really enjoyed our conversation. Jacqulyn Priestly, thank you for joining us from Prince George County in Maryland. I wish you all the best.